Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Today is June 10th, Thursday, 2021. Call this special board meeting to order. It's approximately 6:05 p.m. We're here at the East Las Vegas Library. Ms. Allison, may we have roll call? Sorry, may we have roll call?
Chair Ortiz.
Here.
Trustee Benavides has an excused absence. Trustee Foyt has an excused absence. And Trustee Melendrez has an excused absence. Trustee Raymaker.
Here.
Trustee Rogers.
Here.
Trustee Wilson.
Here.
Trustee Waugh.
Here.
Trustee Giron.
Here.
And Trustee Turner Whiteley.
Here.
You have a quorum, Chair Ortiz.
Thank you very much. Okay, at this time, let's please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Okay, at this time, we will entertain public comments. Topics raised under this item must be limited to matters on today's agenda. Is there any public comment, Ms. Allison?
No public comment, Chair Ortiz.
Okay, having heard no public comment, you can still email to boardcomments@lvccld.org. Okay. Everybody has everybody had an opportunity? Let's try saying that 10 times. Has everybody had an opportunity to look at the agenda? This time I'll entertain a motion to accept the proposed agenda.
Chair,
Yes?
we have an item on this agenda
Oh, that's right.
that we need to address.
Thank you very much. Mr. Wilson advises me that this agenda was not posted in a timely manner, and so one item that I added was the discussion possible board action, number F, to re-advertise the internal audit position to a regular employee. And Jerry, that's correct?
So unfortunately, that was not in the original posting, so we can't add to the agenda.
Okay, thank you very much. So at this time, I'd like to move to table that item number F, to another meeting.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Anybody opposed? So having moved to table item number F, I'll entertain a motion to accept the proposed agenda. We'll make that motion.
Raymaker, so move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Nathaniel Waugh. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries on the proposed agenda without, with tabling item number F. Okay, at this time, we have unfinished business. On the report from the 2021 Nevada Legislature issued by the Griffin Company, please identify yourself for the record.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, Chelsea Capurro from the Griffin Company. Thanks so much for having me, and sorry to have missed at the last board meeting. It was the final days of the session with hearings going late, and it was just, I couldn't make it. So thanks for being patient with me. I am very happy to report that the legislature is over and done. 120 days, no special sessions yet, which is great. And in even more better news, our bill, AB 258, was not only passed and approved by the legislature, but was also signed by the governor. So that bill becomes effective on July 1st, 2021, which is great news. We were really successful, had a lot of support for the issue, and we were really happy to represent you guys on that issue and bring that forward through the legislature. I'm happy to stop and answer questions. I can give kind of a little brief wrap up of major things that happened during the session and kind of what we can anticipate going forward in the interim, if that works as well. But whatever works for you, Chair Ortiz, I am at your disposal.
Thank you very much. We'll go around the table, but first things first, this agenda item that the Board of Trustees voted on was to expand the definition and requirements for the library director. And with that, I think there was only one assemblywoman that voted against it, but everybody else voted for it, including the entire Senate. And so the governor signed that. As part of that, it also included the opportunity to add a second employee to the Board of Trustees, and that would be an internal auditor. And that had unanimous vote and support. Is that correct? Ms. Chelsea?
That is correct, yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, so let's go around the room here. Trustee Nathaniel Waugh, do you have any questions on that item or any legislative items that Ms. Capurro has handled for us?
No, just thank you for your hard work this session.
Thank you very much. Trustee Wilson, do you have any questions or comments for Ms. Capurro?
Just get it for on the record. Were there any substantial amendments, changes made from what was originally started?
No, honestly, it's very rare that we see bills go through with 0 amendments, and this bill had 0 amendments and passed as was introduced. So very rare in this process.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Sandra Raymaker, do you have any questions or comments as far as this bill or any other bills?
No, I just appreciate what you've done, and I appreciate the fact that you gave us regular reports. It made life a lot easier for me anyway. I really appreciate having the updates. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Rogers, do you have any questions or comments on this bill or any other?
No, just thank you for the hard work and getting it passed.
Thank you very much. Trustee Whiteley, do you have any questions? Turner Whiteley?
No, none for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Trustee Giron, do you have any questions or comments?
No, no questions.
Thank you very much. Okay, so it's effective July 1st, 2021, correct?
Yep, that's correct. And then just a little update too. We can anticipate a couple special sessions this interim. We never know exactly what's going to be on them or what's going to be, whatever happens in between now and the next legislative session. But I would expect a couple special sessions, one on redistricting. Normally that's a task that the legislature has to do every 10 years. But because of the delay in getting the data from the census, it's going to have to be done in a special session. We already know that. When exactly that is, we're not sure. And then we can also expect a special session on the distribution of some federal funds related to the American Rescue Plan. They set a few things up during this session to get that started, but we're anticipating that they'll probably need another special session to do that. So we don't know exact dates or anything like that or what else could get thrown on the agenda of those special sessions, but I did just want to point that out. And then also AB 443 made some pretty significant changes to the interim committee process. Basically, it extended all of the normal statutory committees that the legislature does and moved those over into the interim. So there are currently interim committees that meet, but they're limited or specific studies. This now says that every single committee that meets during the regular session can also have a joint interim committee as well. So it's going to be a very interesting and busy interim. I think they all are, but they seem to be getting busier and busier. So that's the only update I have, and it was great representing you guys. We'll continue to do so through the interim, and also, on the reporting thing as well, you will have one more final report coming for this legislature on just bills that may have impacted the library district or just bills of interest in general. The governor still has a few more bills left to sign or not sign, so kind of waiting for that to finally wrap up.
Thank you very much, and we appreciate. Director, did you have any questions or comments?
No questions or comments, Chair Ortiz.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, Mr. Wilt, did we miss anything?
Don't believe so.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. Now we move on to new business. The first item that we have is discussion and possible board action regarding a contract award for property, casualty, and insurance of public officials and employment practices liability insurance for the policy year commencing on July 15th, 2021. Mr. Vino, please introduce yourself for the record.
John Vino, General Services Director, and I have with me Brandon Lewis, who is our broker of record with USI and Insurance Services. We gave a presentation earlier to the Risk Management Committee and went over the policies in detail, but we stand ready to answer any additional questions you might have at this time.
Thank you very much. The Risk Management Committee met earlier today and recommended that we move this item forward for a motion. But in an abundance of caution, Trustee Rogers, did you have any questions since you weren't at the meeting? This is, we have liability policies for just about everything, insurance. And we also have a broker that looks at everything on our behalf. And then they make a recommendation on who we should get based on the best pricing or the best policies. And so if you need a little bit more information, or if you're okay with the information, go ahead.
I don't have any questions at this time.
Okay. Let's see, Trustee Turner Whiteley, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions at this time.
Thank you very much. Trustee Jerome, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Okay. And Trustee Nathaniel Waugh, I know you sat in. Did you have any more questions or anything?
No, I got for 1 minute.
Okay. Trustee Wilson, did you have any follow-up questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. Trustee Raymaker, did you have any follow-up questions?
No, thank you for your presentation. Lots of good information.
Thank you.
Thank you. Since Trustee Elizabeth Foyt was not able to be present, I acted as acting chair of that committee. So at this time, I'll recommend the action. I'm making a motion to authorize staff to award a contract for property and casualty insurance and public officials and employment practices liability insurance through USI Insurance Services. And the companies are Travelers, Chubb/Federal, Benchmark, Tokyo Marine Specialty, Great American, Indian Harbor, and American Specialty, at an annual premium not to exceed $357,595 for the policy year commencing on July 15, 2021, subject to final review by council. That is my motion. Who will second that motion?
I'll second.
Second by Nathaniel Waugh. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Is there anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Vino.
Thank you.
Our next item is under new business, discussion and possible board action regarding contract award for direct and indirect compensation analysis consultant services. Please identify yourself for the record.
Jeffrey Serpigo, Director of Human Resources.
Go ahead.
On April 4th, 2021, the district initiated a request for proposal for direct and indirect compensation analysis. The goal of the direct and indirect compensation analysis is to establish and validate a formal compensation and benefits program for the district. A total of 5 submittals were received. A review committee comprised of 6 members of the administrative team performed the evaluation process. The committee evaluated the information provided by each consultant based upon the following: experience, cost, project understanding, structure and content of work, and project timeline. The committee selected Coffin Associates, whose project team included George S. Kramer, MBA, SPHR, and Debbie Owen, CCP, which is Certified Compensation Professional, as the consultants best suited to fulfill the requirements of the RFP. Coffin Associates have over 37 years of experience in public sector and not-for-profit compensation studies and human resources services. Coffin Associates was the median cost quote, and the district is recommending a motion to authorize staff to award a contract to Coffin Associates. The goals and objectives and scope of the project were presented in a previous presentation to the board. Those are also detailed again on pages 1 and 2 of the agenda item. Are there any questions regarding?
Okay, Trustee Wilson, do you have any questions or comments?
Not at this time, thank you.
Trustee Raymaker, do you have any questions or comments?
Not at this time, thank you.
Okay, Trustee Rogers, do you have any questions or comments?
Only, do we have a proposed timeline to complete the scope of work?
The intent timeline is to complete the scope of work by the end of October.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Jerome, do you have any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Trustee Turner White, do you have any questions? Whiteley, do you have any questions or comments?
No.
Thank you very much. Okay, at this time, we need a motion. Is that correct? Yes.
Chair,
Go ahead, Trustee Wilson, if you'll make the motion.
motion to authorize staff to award a contract to Coffin Associates not to exceed $64,000 for the district and indirect compensation analysis consultant services in accordance with RFP number 21-05, subject to final review by council.
Is there a second on that motion?
Second.
Trustee Whiteley, second.
Okay, Trustee Turner Whiteley will let her make the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, thank you. Motion carries, Allison. Okay, at this time,
Thank you.
the next item, thank you very much. There's discussion, possible board action to approve the technology plan for the Clark County Las Vegas Library District.
Chair Ortiz.
Hang on a second, Allison. We're going to table that till the next meeting. Okay. The next regularly scheduled meeting, Allison. Okay, thank you very much. Does that answer your question, Allison?
You took the words right out of my mouth, sir.
Thank you very much. The next item is item number D, discussion and possible board action regarding the approval for staff to make ongoing purchases of computer hardware and software, telecommunications hardware, and other related infrastructure improvements over $75,000 for the fiscal year 2021 to 2022. And before you get started, we have the trustees voted 3 years ago that any expenses 75,000 or more, they'd have to bring to the board for approval, even if they're reoccurring expenses. So with that, please identify yourself for the record.
Good evening, trustees. Al Prendergast, IT Director for the record. The IT department brings this item to the board annually for your consideration. The district established a technology replacement and upgrades program in the Capital Projects Fund for the replacement of the district's aging technology assets and for new technology initiatives. This year's budget includes funding for the replacement of several end-of-life IT department systems, new technology for the branches, and some information security enhancement solutions. The funding for these projects is budgeted in the Technology Replacement and Upgrades Program of the Capital Projects Fund, as approved by the Board of Trustees in the fiscal year 2021-22 adopted budget. However, some of these funds may be allocated for newly identified priorities or as required to respond to unforeseen circumstances. One example of that is what happened with the pandemic last year. We did not budget for a lot of virtual solutions, such as WebEx, Zoom, and so forth. Of course, we had to react to that, the pandemic, and we had to institute some programs, and we had to use some of the funding for those. So I have that caveat in there. So if there are unforeseen circumstances arise, we may reallocate some of these funds for those purposes. Also, any budgeted funds that are not exceeded will remain in the Technology Replacement and Upgrades Program for use in future years, and budget expenditures are limited to the budgeted items. So the items listed on here are, and the dollar amounts are the limits. There are no more that we can pull on other than what's in this request. The purpose of this agenda item is to pre-approve all fiscal year 22 technology purchases over $75,000 and provide insight into our goals for the new fiscal year. Rather than separately submitting each purchase request for over $75,000 to the Board of Trustees for approval, the IT department is respectfully requesting that the Board of Trustees give staff the authorization to approve technology needs and technology-related purchases exceeding $75,000. NRS 332.115 exempts most of the items listed in the table from the formal bidding process because they're either explicitly exempt or they're sole sourced. And some of the items were previously competitively bid. However, as practiced by staff in the purchasing policy, multiple informal bids will be solicited when possible, and each purchase will be reviewed and evaluated by the Information Technology Department staff for best possible pricing, and alternatives will be explored prior to purchasing. The items listed on the table represent all of the planned expenditures from the Technology Replacement and Upgrade Program of the Capital Projects Fund. The funds for these projects is budgeted at $1,585,000 for this fiscal year. The cashless pilot program expansion and the self-check expansion projects are sole source because they integrate with our current payment and reporting systems provided by Envisionware. The possible VxRail expansion and end-of-life network diagnostic solutions are explicitly exempt from the formal bidding process, and the end-of-life sorters are bid. They were bid and contracted, and the contract was approved by the Board of Trustees in 2018. Executive Director Watson has given me instructions on how to report these expenditures as they are incurred in the department's monthly report. So as these funds are expended, I will call out these expenditures in my monthly report. Thank you. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Let me start off with just a minute or less, just a curiosity question, not a financial. How do we count people, and how do we count them, or how do we avoid counting them twice? Because I see an expense for counting, you know?
Yeah, that's a tricky question, right? We have people counters at the door. Right now, they're just break the beam. So you break the beam of the light, right? It counts one person. We are replacing those systems with a more intelligent solution. It uses depth perception and artificial intelligence, so it could tell the shape of someone. So if you walk in and you have a cart, for example, it could tell by the shape that's not a person. So it's got some of that in there. But if you go in and you clear the counter and you come back and you clear the count again, yeah, it's going to count you twice.
All right, that's
Yeah.
even better that we're getting a better system to figure out what's going on.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Trustee Turner Whiteley, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I don't think so. Thank you for the complete information in the chart.
Thank you very much. Trustee Jerome, do you have any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
All right, Trustee Nathaniel Waugh, do you have any questions or comments?
No, just thank you and Director Watson for making sure that we'll get updates on these expenses as they occur. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Raymaker, do you have any questions or comments?
No, just thank you for all the information. I'm glad that we've got some checks and balances in the system.
Thank you very much. Trustee Rogers, do you have any questions or comments?
No, not at this time.
Thank you. Trustee Brian Wilson.
Just thank you, Director Watson. Thank you for making this part of the reports going forward with such a big dollar amount. A minor request if possible, it would be wonderful if that report could have this table just dropped in it with a new column added to it that just shows the running balances we've gone for the year, just so we kind of have a reference if things, like you said, if we have to make on the adjustments flies, it'll stand out easy. Just a suggestion, not a requirement. Just nice to see how it goes throughout the years, how those totals are racking up compared to the estimates. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to authorize staff to make ongoing purchases of computer hardware and software, telecommunications hardware, and other related technology infrastructure improvements over $75,000 for fiscal year 2021-2022 as approved in the district's adopted budget by the Board of Trustees.
All right, who will make that second?
I'll second Raymaker.
Second by Trustee Raymaker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Ms. Ellison, the motion carries. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good job. Our next item is discussion and possible board action to consider a new building in West Las Vegas if financially liable. Director, and I'm going to hand these pictures up real quick. Well, go ahead.
Okay.
Over your
All right.
presentation.
Trustees, regarding this item, I provided the background, so I'll just talk a little bit about the background and then add some additional comments as well regarding the possibility and consideration of building a new library in West Las Vegas if financially viable. So this certainly predates me. Back in 2016, the city of Las Vegas approved the 100 plan and action for historic West Side community. In 2020, the city funded the 100 plan in action, which is the implementation strategy for initial catalytic projects. So when I arrived here, this was certainly a lot of conversation about this potentially new library. So I spent a lot of time, including yesterday, actually at the West Las Vegas Library. I also had a meeting with Councilman Cedric Creer and Commissioner McCurdy yesterday as well. And the Councilman Creer, as well as myself and Facilities Director Vino, have walked potentially two parcels that are set aside for a proposed location close to the intersection of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Lake Mead Boulevard. Board Chair Felipe Ortiz was also in attendance, and we've also provided a map for you to see where the two parcels are. You can see there's a area that's called the Rainbow Library Footprint, which is an example of what the library itself, and just, I'll say, north of the West Legacy Park site is where this additional parcel is going to be for parking, would be for parking. There's a little background that I also provided regarding the West Las Vegas Library when it opened. But being new to the community, one of the things that I've already identified and in conversations with stakeholders is that there is no additional land that is to be had. So this is an opportunity for us to negotiate with the city for these two parcels, potentially build a 500 to 700 square foot building, as well as have the city of Las Vegas look at purchasing the current library location, as well as doing some other work for us regarding appraisals, et cetera. And then also having potentially the county and other entities contribute to this new proposed facility. So at this time, I ask that you provide myself and staff some direction to spend the time and money to investigate building a new West Las Vegas library. This investigation would include a programming plan with the community, an appraisal of the current building, and an evaluation of available funding from the district and other sources, such as the city of Las Vegas, Clark County, other funds, grants, new market tax credits, the sale of the current building and land. The total cost to investigate this is unknown at this time, but the last programming plan completed for the East Las Vegas Library, which we are currently in, cost around $75,000. So this is just a starting point for us. So looking for you to approve this.
So if I may, Director Watson, real quick, just to add a little bit. The West Las Vegas Library, if you haven't been there, we own the building, but not the land. Secondly, there's no parking. It's parking handicap. They have a theater and then a community center and a park. They all share. So if you get there late for a meeting, which we will have a meeting there, there might not be enough parking. So that's problematic. The ability to expand that is just not there, because under the law, when you expand a building, you have to go to the next code. And the next code, I believe, was in 2017, if I recall correctly, which means it doubles the price. Lastly, there's a lot of moving parts here, so it has to start somewhere. That's why we're here today. The East Las Vegas Library, I believe we paid $503 a square foot for 40,000 square feet. I think this one's probably going to come in at $700 a square foot. And that's without the land. That's just the building. And that's because when you do any government build, it's prevailing wage. And so it's 3 times whatever the cost, it's always 3 times the cost. And we have to pay it because you're using government money, public money. And so I think, number one, there's an appetite to build a new library. Number two, the land is going away. So if we don't take advantage of it, there won't be other land available to build another library. And that's okay. We'll be just with the library that exists. And then we have a new director that's going to move the staff to, when you build a library, they go out and ask the community what they want, what they need, and it's built based on that. And every step is brought back to us. We did this already with Mesquite and with East Las Vegas, and it's pretty exciting. So that's my pitch for having the opportunity to move forward, the trustees move forward, and ask the director to move forward with that, come back to us with the plan on how this is going to be done. paid for, and so on, and negotiate, the authority to negotiate with the other entities. Having said that, Trustee Rogers, any questions or comments? Follow up?
No, I'll just say as being appointed by Councilman Curry out of Ward 5 is where the library resides. I had the pleasure of joining Director Watson in the meeting with City Councilman Creer as well as Commissioner McCurdy. And there is strong interest in aligning our interests and needs with building a state-of-the-art library with all the improvements that's going to happen as part of this larger plan where there are overlaps between the city and the county. And I'm certainly in favor of moving forward with exploring the feasibility of building a new library on the west side that allows that community to be able to grow and thrive and be competitive as we move into the 21st century.
Thank you very much, and thank you for stepping in. He's going to probably be attending, Dr. Rogers will be attending most of the follow-up meetings, kind of to baby the project with us. And of course, everybody else is welcome to go if you have time. It's usually during the day. Trustee Turner Whiteley, do you have any questions or comments? We kind of gave you a map. So ideally, there's nothing is in writing, but ideally we need 2 parcels, one for parking, one for the building. And so that's what you have in front of you. Trustee Whiteley, Turner Whiteley?
I think improving the library on the west side should be a priority for us. It's a terrific neighborhood that needs investment and needs love and attention. And I think this building is a tribute to all of the things that the library can bring to a community. And we should be very proud of that and look to see if we can continue it elsewhere. So if it makes sense, I would be in support. So I'd be in support of moving forward.
Thank you very much. Trustee Jerome, any questions or comments?
No questions. I just think it's an exciting possibility to move forward on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Nathaniel Waugh, do you have any questions or comments?
And just the comment is, I went to middle school and high school in this area, and I had the opportunity to tour the West Las Vegas Library with Mr. Segura, and I know he has a lot of great memories there, and I'm excited for him to have the opportunity to make new memories. But I'm excited by what's going on in this particular area of West Las Vegas, and I'm excited to see this happen for the community. The thing I loved about visiting West Las Vegas Library is you can tell it's well loved by the community, and I'm fully in support of this.
Thank you very much. Trustee Brian Wilson, questions or comments?
I'm love to get moving on this. I'm in complete support of it. We got to find a way to do it like this one was done. No bonds. Let's find a way to raise that money and pay as we go. We can do it.
Thank you very much. Trustee Raymaker, any questions or comments?
No, I agree. That's one of our footmarks that we're known for is we don't do anything unless we have the money to pay for it. Sometimes it takes us a little longer, but at least it's done and it's done the right way. I'm very excited about this and I'm all in favor of moving forward on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Watson, is there anything else that we need before we ask for motion?
The only thing I'll add is that we are currently making some modifications to the current footprint of the building. So I was over there yesterday that include a new teen area. Basically, we've taken this space and we're doing some modifications that are badly needed currently. Some of these were identified in the master plan, so we're doing them. They were less than approximately around $75,000 of improvements, but I believe the impact that we're going to have with the expansion of the computers, the new teen area, new carpet, new paint, it's going to be actually an improvement as we move forward to the new building as well.
Thank you very much. Dr. Rogers, will you make the motion for us?
Certainly. Thank you, Chair Ortiz. I motion to approve and authorize Executive Director Kelvin Watson to move forward on the planning, financing, programming, and building a new West Las Vegas library. This would include the director bringing forward any agreements for approval by the trustees.
I'll second.
Second by Trustee Nathaniel Waugh. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is there anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries, Allison. Thank you. It's an opportunity to keep moving forward in a community that well deserves a new library. So let's see how we can put that together as quickly and financially viable as possible. Okay, thank you very much. That's a good news item for anybody recording it out there. Hint, hint, come interview the director or the trustee, Dr. Rogers. Okay, at this time, there are no other items under new business. Okay, let's go around the table, and then I'll make the last announcement. Trustee Wilson, do you have any announcements or comments?
Just looking forward to seeing everyone again at the retreat in a couple weeks.
Thank you very much. Dr. Rogers, any announcements, any questions or comments?
No, same here. Just looking forward to getting to know all the new trustees better when we have the retreat and building more cohesion across the trustee team.
Thank you very much. Trustee Turner-Whiteley, do you have any questions or comments, announcements?
No, I spent a lot of time at the West Charleston Library and the Rainbow Library over the last couple of weeks, so I'd like to thank the staff for letting me poke around and probably be a little invasive.
Thank you for being on the board. Thank you. Trustee Jerome, do you have any questions or comments?
I want to thank everyone who has kind of welcomed me here and is teaching me the ropes, allows me to sit in on extra committees so that I can absorb more quickly. And for everyone who presented the detailed information, was just really informative and wonderful. Thank you for making everything so clear.
Thank you for being on the board. Thank you very much. Trustee Nathaniel Wah, any final announcements?
I just want to extend the invitation to the trustees, and I know Allison has the flyer. Hope for Prisoners, we're holding at Lorenzi Park on the 22nd. We're holding a huddle barbecue event to celebrate our graduates from the last year. This is the first in-person opportunity they'll have with their families and each other, that camaraderie, and Director Watson is going to be there, and it'll be a good time, and all the trustees are of course invited to that, and I'm looking forward to the retreat. I feel sorry for whoever gets me in the trust fall, but we'll get through it.
Thank you very much. Trustee Raymaker, do you have any follow-up announcements?
No, nothing at this time. And I too am looking forward to the retreat. I think it'll be kind of an awesome experience for all of us to get a chance to hear some goals and ideas and move forward on some other directions.
Thank you very much. Having heard that, our regular June board meeting was moved to Friday, June 25th, 2021, here at the East Las Vegas Library, starting at 7:30 in the morning. For those of you that are brave enough to want to log on, please join us. We have a regular agenda plus a board retreat that'll follow till 5:30. So please make arrangements. Everybody's been given advance notice. You've also gotten a survey. Please fill that out. The next regularly scheduled board meeting is in July 8th, Thursday, 6 o'clock at the West Charleston Library, 6301 West Charleston Boulevard. And so at this time, Ms. Allison, is there any public comment?
No public comment, Charities.
Having heard that there's no public comment, announcement's been made.
Excuse me, Charities.
Sure.
There's no public comment, but last meeting we handed out the Robert's Rules of Order revised. Everybody received a copy, and I believe there was additional copies handed out today for some of the people who weren't able to be there. I wanted to find out, I know our 3 news trustees, this book is the Complete Library Trustee Handbook. It was handed out by ALA, and we've provided it to trustees over the years. If you need another copy, you can't find it, will you please let me know, and I'll make sure you have it before the next retreat, before the retreat.
Thank you. And if you can just bring those to the retreat also, just in case.
Or you can take some here, because I've got some of them here.
All right, thank you. Having heard that, no public announcements. Mr. Wilson, look at the time. This meeting is adjourned. Woo-hoo! All nights go.